Now, Miss Universe this year is gonna be the 9th edition. If we have a sponsor, which is like a restaurant, we try to incorporate the contestants going there, posting their food, having like fun, which is nowadays what the brands look for. They want like product placement. It was still under the management of the directorship of Donald Trump. He didn't want these like smaller countries being involved or being accepted to take part. At least I'm using my efforts into managing to help a lot of young women believe more in themselves. Miss Universe are evolving a lot. They started allowing the straight transgender people to participate.
Really?
Yes. We have the age removal.
Miss Universe, isn't it for women? Because you said that's also transgender.
So they have to change the birth certificate to female. We want more than the people think out there. They're gonna lies the dresses for each other or break the heels of the shoes.
Guys, today we have a very unique topic to discover for ya. We're gonna talk about Miss Universe fashion beauty industry with National Director of Miss Universe Malta. This business, we don't have much information about it, but after this video, make sure that you will know everything from zero to hero. So keep watching, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Let's go. Hello, please give it out who you are, what do you do for a living?
So I'm Alan J. Darmanin. I'm a full-time accounts clerk, but at the sidelines, I am also the National Director of Miss Universe Malta, which in actual fact is the thing that takes me most time in my life.
Why specifically fashion and beauty industry?
I think I inherited it from my mom. So I used to record the shows when they were airing on television. I used to get my mom to buy me like magazines where they showed like contestants, and I used to cut them up, and then I had like a special album where I stick these like photos of the contestants and make my own choice of who would win. So that was like from like maybe 6 years old. So I always grew up thinking one day I want to be the director. I started in 2005.
It's close to 20 years you are in this industry, yeah?
Yes, it was a local pageant, it wasn't not an international one, but the first time back then we didn't have social media. So I just did an application on a Maltese magazine. I opened up a PO box because I didn't want to give my home address of my parents. Every time I went to check this PO box, I found like letters and letters of applicants. And the first time ever, back in 2005, I had like 45 candidates applying, which was like a record for me, you know? And I did this local pageant where we chose 12 finalists for a calendar, and we shot these 12 finalists, then we published a calendar. And I continued doing that for 10 years.
For those who don't know, what's the difference between Miss Universe and the pageants?
So Miss Universe is obviously a bigger challenge. It's combined with an international pageant. So we are literally representing our country abroad, which takes more time, more thinking of how you're gonna promote the best way your country. And when you're competing with much bigger countries with much bigger budgets, you have to do even more your utmost. When as a local pageant, it was just the show, they win, we just focus on, like as I said, the calendar and stopping there. But Miss Universe, after the local show, you have to continue working even more, because obviously the standards that you have to keep to be able to compete with those big countries, it's huge.
And just to make sure that today's video's idea is to give insight about this industry. If people want to start in this industry or to participate as a pageants or starting any like a fashion and beauty industry, we have to give them kind of crash course. What is the advantages and disadvantages for being in that industry? What waits for them? I think it's the right time we can sit and talk a little bit about the business side also. Can we do it?
Sure.
Sure, yeah. So stay tuned, we are continuing. So what is the business model, how it works? Like generally you are in that industry and this is kind of your business.
So first of all, you have to have the support of sponsors. Without the sponsorship, you cannot do anything. As I said, it's an international pageant. It means that I just cannot organize it without having the license. And that is why it took me so long to actually be the national director, because Malta was not a participant in Miss Universe for 15 years before I took the license. So first of all, I have to make sure that the sponsorship part manages to cover the license fee, which is huge, for Malta to be able to just be included in this pageant. That is why I need not just the support of the contestants on their own. I need to find sponsors who are willing to be involved in this kind of industry, who get obviously exposure through my show, and they will support us to be able to have Malta included abroad.
Wow. What is your background? Are you coming from this industry, or what is your degree? How did you come up with this idea? Okay, I want to start this and to tape cassettes or this kind of things.
I never studied any like marketing. I never studied like business. It was just something I envisioned. I just leap into darkness, and I never say no. I try to always do it, and somehow for the past 20 years I managed.
How old are you?
I just turned 40 last month, so
No way. You look younger, yeah.
at least
I wouldn't say.
now I'm happy saying it that I'm 40, because when I started like seeing the 4 approaching, I was
Yeah.
like hesitant, wanting to reduce my age. But now hearing people telling me like, okay, you look younger, it makes me feel like, okay, I must admit now I'm 40. Yeah.
But you look younger. Maybe that's because of the industry. It keeps you younger and working
It's
with the
true.
pageants, yeah.
Before this year, I used to deal with a lot of young females. So yeah, I have to go down their level and see that they are like enjoying themselves. At the same time, I'm guiding them, but I'm like being a brother to them as well, you know.
From starting your career in this industry, what challenges you have faced and you came across from all these hassles, and how it happened for you?
I think the biggest challenge is not finding the proper support from the Maltese public. Unfortunately, I believe that a lot of Maltese people are always ready to criticize or like break someone rather than support them. This is a huge platform for our country, and unfortunately a lot of people out there do not understand how big this is of a chance for these young females to really develop their self-character. So this is what I always tell the contestants as well, who maybe face criticism online or on social media. I always tell them, do not be afraid of being criticized by other people, because I always say, whoever maybe might feel that is better than me at doing so, challenges me, and I see if they are capable or not. As long as I'm happy doing what I do, that's what counts.
And you also said that for taking that license, it requires a lot of money. And how did you finance it?
It took me 2 years to actually be accepted, because back then when I started trying to get the license, it was still under the management of the directorship of Trump. So
How it correlates to each other, Donald Trump and
yes,
this?
like he was more of the actual pageant thing, where they focused on the perfect body shape, the perfect height, the perfect face. So yes, his era was different than what we are living now. So back then he only allowed, maybe it was also a bit more political, he didn't want these like smaller countries being involved or being accepted to take part. Then during his campaign he said that he was gonna build like a wall against Mexico and stuff like this. So a lot of other like pageant directors and pageant fans, especially Latin countries, or united between them, and they made him give up the Miss Universe title. So from then his vice president Paula Sugart took over, and he sold it to IMG Models of New York. They were more open, and since now the directorship moved to a female, they were more open into the woman empowerment platform rather than having the best model, the best physique. Back then, they started accepting. I think when we joined, there were another 10 countries which were added back in 2016 to the Miss Universe pageant.
Wow, okay.
So we were one of them. That's how maybe it was my luck that he had to sell it, because if not, maybe Malta wasn't accepted, but it was very, very challenging.
No, I believe you have hard work on doing it, because from small country making it worse than to be in that. As I know that you are dealing with many sponsors and many companies also involving for it. They also want to be in the public, and how you are making brand deals, how you are dealing with the ticket sales or social media. It involves a lot of work, and we want to know how you are partnering with them, because that strategy will help our audience also for their selling skills. Maybe you can give it a bit about it.
I think nowadays social media is very important. So somehow we try to combine having the contestants, and that is a very good tool which I have, because I'm not only promoting the brands through the Miss Universe platform. I have 25 other contestants, all having their own social medias and sharing to their audiences. So that reaches more people. On my own, then obviously through my social media, what helps us a lot is combining, as I said, the contestants together. For example, if we have a sponsor which is like a restaurant, we try to incorporate the contestants going there, posting their food, having like fun, which is nowadays what the brands look for, because they want like product placement, where you're indirectly mentioning their location or their sponsor or the name of the company, and you're spreading it to a wider audience. Obviously, the other sponsorship part which helps me a lot is the fact that the show is live on our national broadcaster, TVM. So I sell the commercial spots. We sell like 15 seconders or 30 secondary commercial spots, which obviously reach a wider audience. And then there is also what we call like including sort of, for example, fashion shows throughout the whole competition. Meaning you have boutiques, outlets of clothes who want to showcase their latest collections through videos on social media, and on the final night showcasing with, like, for example, 12 models their new collection on stage. So while you have the contestants changing from maybe their opening dresses to swimwear or from swimwear to evening, you incorporate these fashion shows instead of just wasting time with the hosts talking or discussing nothing on stage. You fill up these gaps with these sponsors who pay money, so they are involved and showcase their actual business.
Till now they were doing it old-fashioned way, but now you are making it with the trends.
Yeah.
You are making it. But do you remember how did you make your first sponsorship deals?
So at the beginning I had someone partner up with me and them taking care of the sponsorship part. But then after some years, I ended up on my own and I was like, oh, so now I have to do this myself. So it was again another challenge of I don't want to lose the partnership, the sponsors which I had, so now I have to face them myself. I didn't find it as difficult as I thought it would be. Still, it's not something I love doing from the whole organization thing. I think if I had to rank what I like, this is the lowest part, but it's the most important part because without the sponsors, I cannot do anything. Nowadays, I have also to teach the contestants, obviously to try to finance this whole thing as well. I have also what we call a participation fee, which each contestant pays a small participation fee to be included and to be able to take part. I have to teach now the contestants of how they are going to approach sponsors to cover their own fees.
And right now they are doing sponsorship deals by themselves, not as the organization from your side.
So I have my own sponsors to cover my expenses, but then the contestants can find their own sponsors, meaning every contestant, as I said, has a participation fee which she has to pay to be able to take part. She has the photo shoots, has the training. If she goes abroad, she has everything covered. If she wins like the flight tickets, the accommodation, so she's getting a lot out of it. So there is a very, very small participation fee which they have to pay, and they always tell the contestants, since it's like a television program, instead of you having to pay it yourself, you have the right to find at least up to 3 companies which want to help you out, and they can offer them, like, for example, a caption on TV once the show is airing. We include their sponsors on social media. At least the contestants try to cover their own expenses for taking part in the show through their sponsors.
How many people you have in your team, or is it like a one-person solo entrepreneurship? How you are working with this?
Mainly myself, but yes, I have like my parents who help me a lot. I always involve them, and my family, like my sister, her husband, who even like for the final night, I get them on board. I have my catwalk trainer, Marvin, who helps a lot as well because he's from the Philippines, so has a very good knowledge and background about pageants. My partner, Kurt, who is like very supportive, and he used to be in this industry as well in fashion, so I mean we combined both our
friendship. It's not like a team, professional
exactly.
team, or like, it's like a friendship.
Yeah.
Alan, just like a friendly question. Beside this industry, generally, why we need Miss Universe?
I think my biggest answer is the opportunity of giving not only Malta to be included in such a big platform and promoting our country, because it is a big platform out there. Literally, people don't understand the amount of millions of people watching those few seconds where the contestant is there wearing the sash of Malta, people asking us when we are there, where is Malta, and they get interest. We are literally making it more public and more international known, but mainly I think is the transformation that I see through the contestants. It's like at least I'm using my efforts into managing to help a lot of young women believe more in themselves. Some contestants are very shy, they don't have any public speaking skills, they keep to themselves, they don't step out of their comfort zone. Sometimes I'm approached by parents telling me like I need my daughter to literally get out of her shell because she cannot continue on like this, you know. Through our training, through our mentorship, I really see this transformation. Like, for example, one contestant in particular, she took part twice after each other because she wanted to pursue dentistry school, and apparently she told me that her exams were half written and half interview. She tried it, she failed from the interview part. She did Miss Universe, she had the training sessions with us about public speaking doing interviews, how to speak on camera in front of people with an audience. And she sent me a message that now, after Miss Universe, she managed to pass from the interview part and she can now continue to pursue her career, which she always wanted to. So these small things are like the biggest win for me.
That's really interesting because they are gaining confidence after presenting themselves.
I don't focus only on the production of the final night and that's it. That's why we start months before, because it gives me the opportunity of having more training sessions with them. They get to know each other better, see who's gonna be your roommate for those like nights together, so they get to bond between them. You try to pair them to see who is gonna bond more with the others. I have contestants who, like after 4 or 5 years taking part in my pageants, are still best of friends till now.
Interesting. About the choosing right candidates or contestants, how you are doing it? You are focusing on the woman body shape, appearance, beauty, or what is your main criteria for choosing right candidate?
Actually, yes, I get this question a lot, and they tell me like, but
because
how?
this is fashion
Yes,
and
exactly,
beauty.
exactly. But I'm focused mainly on giving the candidates the opportunity of being able to join. Meaning that, okay, nowadays through social media, sometimes I contact some myself because I see potential in them and I would like to work with them. Sometimes they apply themselves. Sometimes they don't go in the image that people have of what a beauty pageant girl should be. Because I believe, who am I to stop anyone from wanting to do something? So if a contestant wants to do this pageant and she's not maybe the tallest or the skinniest, but she wants to live this experience, who am I to tell her, no, you cannot? On the other hand, Miss Universe are evolving a lot. They started allowing the transgender people to participate.
Really?
Yes. Also, we have the age removal, that a woman can be over 30, still take part, can be married, can have children. So Miss Universe is the only most inclusive international pageant out there. All the other pageants are still with the age limit, with the not married, no children, and so on. Miss Universe has literally opened its doors to different women because it wants to empower women and not just young ladies.
But Miss Universe, isn't it for women? Because you said that also transgenders can be participated.
Fully operated. So they have to change the birth certificate to female.
Is it possible to change birth certificate also? I have no idea.
Yes, nowadays, yes.
Really? Okay. So, and if they do this process and they can be contestant in Miss Universe, yeah?
For example, in the Philippines, obviously they have a bigger selection. So first they go through a selection in their provinces. In one province, she didn't win, but she took part. There was a lady of 69 years. Yes, she was like the oldest contestant. This year I have contestants who are 40, 42, with children. One has 3 children, like taking part. So for me, it's a different kind of mentality which I have to adapt still. But I think it's something not just fun, but it's something I'm excited to see how the general public are gonna react to it, to be honest.
But how you are receiving any comments or from audience? What you receive? Is it positive feedback or they are criticizing contestants?
You get both. As for anything that you do, you get both. Like people criticizing this, that a lot say like it's a miss. How can a missus take part? You know. Then you have those supportive ones. Then you have those who are like, oh, okay, so if she did it, I'm interested to do it. You know, and you start receiving these messages of older women who want to join for next year, for example. Yeah, there's a mix of emotions right now.
As I know from modeling industry, they have even for body count restriction if they are with the contract and they cannot have boyfriend or they cannot do whatever they want, and how it is restricted for them. But in Miss Universe, you don't have this kind of restriction. It's all open for them. They can do whatever they want because it's their life and they can be also in Miss Universe. Yeah.
If you want to accept this challenge with yourself, why not? At the end of the day, this year is going to be the 73rd anniversary of Miss Universe. So I'm pretty sure that most females out there have a knowledge of when they are going to go abroad, what they're going to find competing with them. So if they feel they're up to that challenge, why not?
So I want to go back about the finance side. At the moment, how it is lucrative for you? Are you making any good profit of this and doing this business and involving yourself completely for this? How it is working? How much can we make in your position doing what you do all around yourself?
I believe to start making a lot of money, I have to reduce a lot of things from the competition itself. But I'm not willing to do that. I prefer spending more and not making a lot of profit just for my standards to never go down. I don't look at profits because my profit is bigger than just money. If you are happy doing what you really love, you won't care about the money. That's why I have my full-time job, which I survive through that. I don't survive through Miss Universe. But the most important thing is that I keep my standards for the show and I manage to cover those expenses. People don't understand how passionate I am about this, you know, how big big was my dream of having the Miss Universe and being involved there. Like for me, the biggest win is when we actually go with the candidate abroad and I see those people who I used to watch when I was younger involved in the organization, and now I see them face to face. I'm one of them. I'm a director like them, especially like these bigger countries from Venezuela, Mexico, Colombia. You see, they are people who I looked up to and how I wish I had that position like them. And now I'm literally sitting in the same meeting, discussing the same things for directors when we're abroad, sitting next to them. So that is like really my biggest profit out of it.
This is an achievement.
Yeah, exactly.
I got it. It's also interesting to know after Miss Universe and they get their crown, let's say, and what is life after that?
There are some who also use it as a platform for their advocacies, but also it helps them into gaining a lot of following on their social medias, which on the long run is going to help them, especially here in a smaller country. Once you reach a certain level of following, you're automatically listed down as an influencer. So they are approached by a lot of companies who want to sponsor them. They end up getting a lot of free stuff. So yeah, sometimes the contestant gets more than me actually. Yeah, because they approach them, and plus obviously once you go to Miss Universe abroad, the experience there that they gain out of it is a once in a lifetime opportunity, literally a once in a lifetime, because you cannot do it again if you win. So meeting this year is going to be a record, because normally it's 90 to 95 countries. This year is going to be 100 something countries participating. So meeting all those countries, all those cultures, the people that they meet there, because it's an American company, it's a big company, like the celebrities they get to meet, the activities that they get to do, the photos that they get to do. Like for example, last year, Ella, the Miss Universe Malta of last year, when she was in El Salvador, she was chosen as one of the 8 or 10 countries only they chose to do a photo shoot for the swimwear of a designer, Ruben Singer. He actually dresses Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, and she was one of the chosen ones for this shoot, you know?
That's good, eh? Good achievement, eh? Even the countryside and also for the pageant side.
Especially like for Ella last year, her main issue that doing Miss Universe, she wanted to challenge herself because she never saw herself in a swimsuit in front of an audience or of people. The funny thing is that she actually was chosen for a swimwear shoot at Miss Universe for this international designer. So she literally did like a full circle with herself and her like insecurities.
Is there anything what we don't know about Miss Universe and pageant industry?
There's a misconception, I think, that in a pageant like this, especially having all females taking part, there's gonna be like a lot of catfight, a lot of controversies, or they're not gonna actually bond between them, but in reality, it's not.
They're not competing each other?
Everyone wants to win, let's face it. And I always tell them when they apply, make sure that you're going into it wanting to win, because that is how they try to give their 100% effort. But they bond more than the people think out there. They think that maybe they're gonna lice the dresses for each other or break the heels of the shoes for each other, but in reality, it's not like that. They end up helping each other backstage, fixing each other hair sometimes backstage, zipping the dresses for each other backstage. And the most painful part of it all, I think, for me especially, being the person behind the stage exactly, is when they announce like the finalists, and those who don't make it have to come backstage, and I'm the first person that they literally face, and I'm like, I see their disappointment, they're crying, they're like upset. Yeah, that is one of the hardest parts of the whole thing.
But at least they enjoyed the process. They're coming through with the process, and at the end...
Yes, some of them take it as an experience. Obviously, there are those who, after the show, are so disappointed that they don't talk to me anymore. Or,
really?
Yes, you get to that point, you know, because
that's sad.
They're upset, they wanted to win, or at least make top 15, and they didn't do it, and they think like that it was all already like decided before, it was rigged, you know. But
is it decided before?
No, if it was, I wouldn't go through this hassle.
Yeah.
I make it more clear to them that they can, after the show, come and see the actual vote of the judges. Some come also to see where they could have done better and where they failed from, for them to learn if they want to do it again. You get mixed emotions, you know.
Okay.
And then you get those who are appreciative and grateful for the opportunity and still keep it as a memory for them to cherish.
In our audience, we have a lot of females also watching this video. If they want to be in Miss Universe in any country, what should they know? Or if they want to start their career in influencer life or generally modeling, how they can start, what should they do?
First of all, look up and do their homework about what they're getting themselves into. Do a background check of the organization or the photographers or the videographers or whatever they are gonna work with, because I believe that there is a lot of people who take advantage of young girls who see this as their dream and they want to do something like this and they don't actually do their homework before stepping into something like this. I believe that, sorry, I got stuck this.
Maybe they have to do plastic surgery before going to this competition, or they have to take care of their body to shape it out, or what should they do?
No, actually, a lot of contestants take care of their image first of all. They start challenging themselves with gym and so on. But I always tell them, don't push it too much to the extreme. Actually, a pageant like this doesn't require for a model to be super skinny, and they associate fashion industry to beauty pageants as the same thing, when in reality it's not. So I always tell them, keep a balanced, healthy lifestyle. Do not go overboard by trying to lose so much weight, because one, Miss Universe is very accepting into promoting diversity. Two, you have to see your own personal body and lifestyle, how you can adapt that into getting into shape, because at the end of the day, you have to feel confident within yourself that you're gonna face an audience, not only there in the venue, but also on television. I always tell them, do not try to copy anyone. You have to be your own person, not because 2 years ago that person won with that dress, with that hairstyle, with that makeup, with that body. You have to be like her, because you're never gonna be the same person as another one. You have to have something that the people are gonna say, okay, she's different than that one. You know, you have to be memorable by inspiring others the way you are.
Got it. And also some guys are thinking about starting this business because being around with pageants, being around with beautiful women, what you want to tell them? Because in your position, I'm sure that a lot of guys want to be in your position because it keeps you younger and keeps you entertained. And
so when I tell them that it's not easy to deal with 25 candidates, female candidates, for almost full year, the amount of messages and questions they ask me every single day is out of this world. But I say, like, okay, it's part of my job, I have to guide them and answer them. Two, with me, a lot of guys there who think that maybe they're gonna have this opportunity of being surrounded by young girls and so on. It's not gonna happen, because they're always gonna find me whatever we do. I am always there present with the contestants. I never send them anywhere on their own. If it's a filming, if it's a photo shoot, if it's a training, whatever, they're gonna find me the first person there, surveillance camera, on what's happening, because at the end of the day, it's my responsibility. And it's not easy. You have to be ready to deal with that.
Yeah, because some of them thinking that, okay, I will be around with a lot of chicks and I will spend a lot of good days and it will give me some motivation. But I decided it's not like that.
Especially now from this year, you have mature women as well involved, so no, it's not gonna be easy.
Not anymore like that.
No, not at all.
At the end, I just want to know, because you are doing a lot of training for personal development and also dealing with a lot of females, which is hard, what we believe, because sometimes you cannot deal with one woman, and right now you are dealing with more than 25. What personal development advice you would give to our audience?
So first of all, always believe in yourself. Never let anyone tell you otherwise, and if it's something that challenges you, go for it even more. If it's something that you say, no, I'm not ready for it, do it even more. So first of all, you prove others wrong, but most importantly is that you prove yourself wrong. That way you can always grow as a person by not letting anything stop you from what you really want to achieve in life.
And all of what you did, does that worth of your time, energy, and your life?
I believe so. So I believe that in life there is much more than just money. I believe that internal satisfaction is what is really worthy. So if you're doing something that you love, I believe that you're not working for one single day in your life, because you're doing something that you're passionate about, that you're looking forward to do, which unfortunately everyone knows, even my work colleagues know, that my full-time job is not giving me what I really would like from my life. So Miss Universe is that opportunity where I actually am happy doing something, and I'm not doing it as a work, because I'm enjoying every single moment out of it. Okay, it's stressful, maybe it's not good sometimes health-wise, because I tend to be too much of a critic on myself, because I'm a perfectionist, so everything that I do I'm never almost happy about. But I'm trying to be more of a positive person, and whatever happens, I take it as a learning experience.
Got it. Well, thank you very much for spending time with us and giving insight about this industry, which we don't know, and there are no one almost talking about this kind of things, what you are having in your personal life, and also being an entrepreneur and business owner. thank you very much for this lesson. We appreciate and good luck, of course.
Thank you very
it was
much.
good.